We've long said butts in seats is the way you sell an electric car because they are so much fun and they can be so advanced, but sometimes you don't even need to get the butt in the seat. Sometimes seeing is believing, and we've got a story about exactly that. I'm here with Jan from Tesla Fix, and we will get it sorted out because it's a great story. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm back again, of course, in Brian's great studio that I lended to him for this episode.
For a bunch of episodes. This is the third to last or thereabout. We're doing our final session here. It'll be a couple videos for me and a big wrap up with Jan. And then I won't see him again for weeks. Our hearts will go on. We've got a funny story to share at the end of this episode, so stay tuned for that because it is a pretty funny story. I think you know which one it is.
Yeah.
So we had a cool little hotel that we stayed at. We didn't stay at the big expensive one right next to the event. We stayed close to it, very close. Walking distance for sure. And we were there Friday for the light show. We were there Saturday for all the main speakers. And then we were there Sunday. And a lot of people who planned to leave Sunday, because it was kind of the technical day, said, no, in fact, I'm going to stay one more day because the Cybertruck is going to be there.
Yes. On Sunday, they announced that actually the Cybertruck will be there as well. And yeah, I was super excited, of course, because I've never experienced the Cybertruck before and haven't seen how it looked like in real life because... yeah, I wanted to see that. So we stayed, of course. And I mean, it was a whole day where we should shoot and network, of course. And we stayed at the Schnitzel Egg.
The Schnitzel Egg. And you know what a schnitzel is? It's fried food. It's a great traditional.
Yeah, it's a traditional food, mostly out of pork that you flatten down with a hammer, with those meat hammers. Kind of.
Think chicken fried steak, except with a different breading, a thinner meat, and pork.
Yeah, and you eat that with fries. But of course, that was just the name of the hotel we stayed at.
It means corner, so really it means
Schnitzel Corner.
Schnitzel Corner.
Yeah. So this was a hotel that was part of the Alpenwelt hotel that is right next to the street. So huge shout out to that because it was a lovely stay there. It was a very small hotel there. The Schnitzel Egg is a smaller version of their bigger hotel. And yeah, we liked it. And after the breakfast, so we went down and I asked the young lady, Theresa, there that worked there, have you seen... do you know that the Cybertruck is today here in Flachau? And she was like, yes, I already got a picture sent to me. And
Small town, big news.
Yeah.
When your friends are like, you got to check this out.
Yeah.
And she looked at it.
She was like, nah.
That it's hey, if you're into that sort of thing, that's cool, but
Nah. I think it's ugly or not.
Yeah,
and she was like,
she just wasn't interested.
No, she said it was ugly. She
did she?
Yeah,
Really?
No, it's ugly. I don't think it's. I don't kind of like it.
It wasn't her cup of tea.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we got to talking about EVs generally. You know, she lives and works in the Alps. It gets cold. She said, cold weather EVs. I don't even know if they really mix. I've heard they don't.
If you ever in Flachau in Austria, please visit the Alpenwelt hotel here, or as I prefer it because it's connected to the Schnitzel Egg here where Theresa is also working. So I really enjoyed it here. That's the Schnitzel Egg. Schnitzel Egg, a very nice name. So if you come here, please visit the Schnitzel Egg. Thank you very much, Theresa, for doing this small interview about the Cybertruck because I think it's very interesting because you had the switch around in your opinion immediately. It was like 1 second you're like, oh, I get it now. Okay, it's super nice. Yeah.
And you said to me, I already said you, it's nice.
I was so hyped, yeah.
Oh, it was really nice.
Yeah, cool. Theresa, thank you very much for doing this. And you were a great host here as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back again because the Tesla Owners Club in Austria actually purchased the Cybertruck. One of their members did it. And we might see it more often presented in Flachau here as well, or in the region, in Salzburg. And that's what I wanted to look forward to. You might be featured in another video, we will see. So see you soon and thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Theresa.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, but the funny thing is she actually drives an e-Golf, one of the first EVs kind of from VW. And it's interesting because it talked about, and the range issues, because she has those range issues with her e-Golf. And you have to imagine this e-Golf actually is from the VW line that produces the normal Golf, and they just put a battery inside of that with a powertrain, and that's it. And
it's as exciting as the electric Focus. And the electric Focus, those are still on the road. Some people still enjoy them, but it's not going to win any hearts and minds.
No.
So the thing is, we're talking to her, and she's getting a little excited. She's like, okay, you guys are really into this. I get it that you guys are excited.
But it's still not her cup.
It's not her cup of tea. So I said,
and she's still. We almost discussed. I'm like, no. I don't know.
I am not a fan of long hikes, and to get there, you walk out to the street, down to the corner or two, up the long around. And I said, hey, is there a shortcut like through? Can we just like cut through the field to get to it? She goes, I'll drive you.
Yeah, that was super. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. She grabs her keys and we walk out, leaving the entire city abandoned, as far as I could tell. There's
other
staff.
There's
a cleaning staff.
But still, Theresa. So she was very nice, and I was like, yeah. When you drive us there, you will be coming with us behind the fence, kind of, and walk up to the Cybertruck. Just to look at it, a little glance.
Well,
I don't need to. No,
I mean, I'm here. I might as well.
Yeah,
and so
we snuck her in, kind of,
and we see this crowd. We don't even see the side. You can't.
Yeah, no.
It's thick. It's thick of people, and we were like, well, we know where it's parked. So we park. We get out of the car and we walk over. And at that point, I was talking with other people. So from this point, I will let you tell us what happened.
So I walked with Theresa near the crowd. I was there, and she already saw this silver-shaped thing, or the silver-colored triangle standing there between the heads. She walked over, and it took her, I kid you not, she walked over and she saw it 1 second. 1 second she saw it. She was like, huh. Wow, it's really cool. And then she switched around because she was so hesitant in the beginning. She didn't really like it. She said it was ugly, and suddenly 1 second, and she was so strong in her opinion because she argued almost with me a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we went there 1 second. She's like, oh, okay, I get it now. Wow, it looks amazing. Because she thought it was way smaller, because on the pictures...
The picture her friend took was, again, with a crowd, and her friend was not very interested, so they just held their phone up high, shot from a downward angle, and it didn't look very exciting.
Exactly, and when you also look at pictures that are taken from the Cybertruck, you notice that when you see it live, that's what all the people online also say. When you see it live, it really looks different because you experience the size of the Cybertruck. Because it kind of looks a little bit small on pictures, but when you stand right in front of it and realize, wait, that's head height. Oh, this thing is huge. And then it looks way different.
It was, when we saw it, it was not, it was on medium height from what we could tell. Later in the day, they put it on high height. But it was, and they never had it on extract or entry heights. But so now we can just talk about the crowd itself. Because I've gone to, the Cybertruck delivery after party, where a lot of people saw it for the first time. I've been to different showrooms, both in Bellevue and Washington, where it was on display, and I got to see it with crowds who were seeing it for the first time, and then again at both of those locations when you could get into it for the first time. And I always ask people, how does the size compare to what you expect? And almost everyone I talk to say, it's about the size I expected. They might say a little bigger or a little smaller but everyone's like, no, that's about what I expected, which is, to me, interesting. But then, of course, I ask, what's your impression? What do you think of it? And regardless of what country I'm in, it's the same answers. The experience was the exact same in Austria as it was in Oregon or Washington. What was your first impression?
So I knew a lot about the Cybertruck already because I'm a Tesla gearhead.
Yes.
Yeah. And when I saw it the first time, it was super awesome to experience that because it was because the size, even for me, that I knew the pictures, I knew tests, I saw pictures of people sitting inside of the Cybertruck, but I myself was still amazed by the size, especially the wheel size. I didn't expect that.
The wheels are ridiculous. The wheels are genuinely ridiculous. But a lot of big trucks have big wheels. And it was interesting because we then talked to her and said, so there are a lot of pickup trucks in the Alps. There are even some Lightnings up here in Flachau. And these cars have the best traction control. They have the best, and for their use case, they don't need even 300 miles of range. They're just in town. And they'll never need to go to another gas pump. Just when you're done at the end of the day, for what they do, they could realistically do a level 1 charge and get their range back.
Absolutely. It's so interesting because we talked about that also when we've interviewed, or I've interviewed her right in front of her this hotel. It was so interesting. She also said like it's pretty common to have a pickup truck because you have to load stuff to the mountains, or because they have lifts there as well. They need to be maintained, for example. So that's why they drive up there with heavy machinery and stuff like this.
And any kind of supplies that you can't have delivered, you have to pick up. And for a pair of hotels, plus I think they have villas behind it, or chalets, I guess. In addition, it was very cool, and they have a use case. And by the way, very small town, so many cranes building stuff right now, probably 6-7 cranes. And how many chargers were there in town? Just Tesla branded, I saw 2. There's the big one over by the Castle Hotel. It's not a castle. It looks like a Disney castle. Yeah. It looks like, not even, it looks like an off-brand Disney castle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you've got the one out by the street up a little from us. And then you've got other brands of chargers all over. Yeah. It's a cool place, you guys. And the staff at the hotel was great. Yeah. Teresa was great. The front desk staff, and it was a lot more reasonably priced than the one right next to, than the castle. Yeah, and then of course.
Disney Castle. Yeah, but what I was going to say, one more thing was that in Flachau, they actually have a lot of sustainable energy or generation, because they have solar panels everywhere and they consume a lot of those green energy actually, and that's why if they would charge it there, it's pretty sustainable, and they have Flachau itself have a huge incentive to really do that, because they love their part of town there and they need to have it clean, and that's why they have so many strides to do that.
If you've got a little town like that, you want it quiet, you want the air to be pristine, and you don't want climate change to steal your glaciers.
Yes.
Because that's potentially problematic.
For a ski resort.
For a ski resort. And we're starting to see more ski resorts open shorter and shorter seasons. Those will just go away because you can't run a 2-month season. That's not sustainable. So that was, we're out here. We're on the front lines. We're winning hearts and minds.
Yeah.
So there's a story coming up. I'm going to sign off first because this story is not for everyone. This story is just for people who need a little more. So everybody in the comments, what do we miss? What do we misunderstand? If you've seen it in person, how was the size compared to what you expected? And everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual. Stay tuned and juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, after Jan says this.
Please follow Tesla Fix on his channel.
So, by the way, this Austria event was fantastic. We're going to Michigan next. And I do say we because we are going to Michigan next.
Yeah, it's going to be so awesome, because one thing is to see the Cybertruck. The next thing is to get into a Cybertruck and drive to Muskegon to the summer meetup. I will be so excited. And yeah, I can't wait to try the Cybertruck family and FSD.
He's very excited, you guys. So when booking our room at Flachau for the event, which was wonderful, I trusted my good friend Jan to handle the booking, and he went online and he looked at different prices, and he's like, boy, I think we could, oh, here's a good place. And you know how hotels have generic pictures. They don't have pictures of every single room, especially in an older building like this, where every room is different. I mean, that's too much work. And so he booked a room for 2 adults with, presumably 2 beds. And we get there and we check in and head on up to our room. And I open the door and I say, oh my goodness, my friend.
What have you done?
You're going to be the big spoon.
So it was a single bed apartment for 2 adults, but for couples. And I get in the room, I'm like, oh God. And then, of course, because it's off season, we were lucky because we didn't have to overpay anything because we went to the other front desk and you can go on there.
Of course, Jan was saying, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Here, how about a back rub? And I was like, I don't think this. I said, it's off season. I'm sure they have other rooms. It'll be no problem. So we head down to the front desk and Jan says, look. So when I booked it, I'm looking at the rooms. I made a mistake. Could we get a room with 2 beds? And the whole time I'm gradually leaning over, put my head on his shoulder, because you watched us check in. You knew we were getting a room with 2 beds. That's so forward thinking of you guys that you're like, these knuckleheads.
And then I said, yes. I mean, it is our honeymoon, but I would love to kind of sleep at least separately.
Yes. And then we were thinking, when we get to the next room, is there going to be a bottle of champagne?
Yeah, but it was, unfortunately. But I was glad they were so nice. They gave us a new room, no upcharge, nothing. And super nice hotel.
The hotel was great. It was not modern. It was not fancy. It was bare bones, but great. And the staff was so great. Teresa was great. And for breakfast, not only did they have an awfully good, by American standards, a fantastic buffet. But then they come up and they're like, oh, hey, did you want like scrambled eggs and bacon or anything? And we're like,
hell yeah.
Yeah. Is that really? Yeah. And then would you like an espresso? Yes. Yeah. I'm already saving $20. So that was a heck of a deal. And honestly, if you just take the cost of breakfast and subtract it from the room, what a value. Thank you, Teresa, and your company, your whoever's in charge. Thank you.
So Alpenwelt in Flachau and Schnitzeleck are the
Alpenworld. Say it.
Alpenworld and Schnitzeleck.
Schnitzeleck is as English as you're going to get.
Yeah,
clearly.
Sure.
So there you go. That's the bonus, and thank you all for being for hanging out this late in the story.
Thank you very much. See you guys next time.